husband,
wife.
Do you know where the hell we are and how the hell we got here?
Well, yesterday we read Daniel chapter 9, and in that chapter, there were 70 weeks that were 70 years long, that were 62 weeks, but there were 7 more, and then there was lots of 7s. And
not a lick of alcohol.
Jesus. I was so fucking math confused and time confused by the time we got done with yesterday's chapter that I don't even know what the fuck, which way's up or anything. What was going on? I'm like, I read the summary. Like, so I summarize, I try to find a summary of the chapter that we just read every week.
To refresh your memory.
Refresh my memory. And it didn't really occur to me that, so I was listening to what you were saying yesterday, but it didn't occur to me what was actually being said. I don't know why. Maybe I just droned it all. Like, it was all just like blended together. I'm not really sure. But apparently a week is a year.
Yeah, we talked about that.
So like
somehow you missed that part.
Somehow I missed that. So the summary that I'm reading says the first 7 weeks, 49 years, will see the rebuilding of Jerusalem and the temple. Thus, after 62 weeks, 434 years, an anointed one will be cut off, killed. Okay. And then the final week, which is 7 years, week year, who fucking cares? We'll see a ruler make a covenant with many, but break it halfway through. This ruler would desecrate the temple and set up an abomination that causes desolation. The end will come like a flood. There's your timeline, apparently. I don't know what the fuck they said weeks for. I don't understand any of this. Like, why are we talking about things in, like, code?
Yeah.
It makes no fucking sense. I'm a little angry about
I could
this
tell.
because
you're kind of mad.
Well, okay, look, it's bad enough we have to deal with like these visions and prophecies and bullshit with that, right? And like iron teeth and horns that grow horns and angels with wheels that have eyeballs. I mean, for fuck's sake, this is getting insane. But now we can't even decide whether a week's a year or a year's a week or I don't get it. I'm like, come on, can you just say a year?
Well, I mean, we did mention at some point in one of the notes that Daniel, whoever, was using code.
Right.
And did not want, because they didn't want whoever was the leader at the time to be able to understand what they were saying.
And they couldn't change it after they were done with, that leader. They couldn't just like say, hey, that was code. We don't need code anymore. Here's the actual numbers.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, I'm going to make an analogy. Ready?
Yeah.
This is going to be another one of our lengthy intros that makes no fucking sense.
Right.
All right. So when we were kids, and even more so when our parents were kids, right? They collected comics and toys and whatever and had no problem opening and just tearing it up and whatever, right? Had no idea that at some point in the future...
Things would be worth a goddamn mint.
They would, right? Well, now we know, and so now we look for those things and we say, oh, why didn't you keep it in the box? And, oh, why couldn't you have, wrapped this comic in plastic?
Not me. I get that shit out and play with it.
Okay. No, I do too. When I said we, I meant...
Collectively, society.
Yeah. The royal we. So that's just our generation and the one previous.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
These people at the point that they were living had no fucking clue that every single piece of word that they wrote down was going to be digested and licked by people thousands of years later trying to make sense of it.
I understand that 100%. Okay. But what I'm getting at is that before we solidified the Bible to say we're never changing this shit ever again, why couldn't we just change things like this to say what it means?
Because by the time a group of people sat down to read it and solidify it, it was already so old that they couldn't possibly change it just to make it more readable.
But we do that all the time with the Bible. Like, there are more and more readable versions all the time.
Right.
And I assume...
You're hardcore Christians. What's the one that they read?
The King James. Right. No, I get it. It just pisses me off. That's all.
No, I know.
I have no real good reason other than why are we calling weeks years? Or years, why are we calling year... Whatever the fuck the thing is. Why is a week a year?
I
makes no sense.
It made sense to them, and I don't know.
And I don't really understand why you need code to talk about something that you're writing about 400 years later that is fictional. Like, it just seems like you're just trying to muddy the water.
I couldn't answer that for you.
I know. I'm going off because and it makes me angry. That's all.
You're irritated.
I am.
I don't think you had enough coffee.
No, I'm working on it.
Okay.
So, all right. Well, anyway, that was Daniel chapter 9.
Or something or like something.
Yeah, maybe it was Daniel chapter 7.
And 7.
And 7.
77.
Plus 7. Yeah. I don't know.
Sure as fuck was. Chapter 9.
We're obviously, before we say what we're doing today, which probably you could guess, but we're running a little late this week.
A day behind.
Yeah. So we're doing our regular podcast on a Saturday. So welcome to our regular Saturday episode, and hopefully we will catch back up this weekend and get everything we wanted to get out.
That's always the plan.
Yes. Life. Anyway, so we just finished Daniel chapter 9. And today we're getting into
Daniel chapter 10.
All right, let's do this.
Okie dokie. All right, we are getting into Daniel chapter 10.
Or Daniel chapter 10.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
I'm just saying.
As I have been starting every book, let me remind you that, every chapter, I did that last time.
Yeah.
The book of Daniel can be divided into 2 parts. 1, a set of 6 court tales, chapters 1 through 6, written mostly in Aramaic, and 2, which is 4 apocalyptic visions, chapters 7 through 12, written mostly in Hebrew.
And mostly fucked up stories.
Yeah,
I mean, and really weird.
We are in that second bit.
Yeah.
4 apocalyptic tales or visions.
Yep.
So chapters 10, 11, and 12 make up Daniel's final vision. Okay. Which I wondered, like it said 4 visions, but chapter 7 through 12. Yeah, I was like, how are we doing this?
Yeah.
So, it's one vision. The last one is spread over chapters 10, 11, and 12.
Oh, so we're going to start this is the last vision?
Yeah, this is the last vision.
So we're going to, all right.
And it describes a series of conflicts between the unnamed, quote, King of the North and, quote, King of the South, leading to the, quote, time of the end, when Israel will be vindicated and the dead raised, some to everlasting life and some to shame and everlasting contempt.
I see. Okay, so we're getting closer to that heaven and hell shit, right?
That, the Christians.
And rapture and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so also one more thing. Chapter 10 is kind of a prologue to the following chapters. Okay.
All right.
So this chapter today kind of
sets up what's coming.
It sets up and starts the vision.
Okay. All right.
So let us get to the right
the
window.
Screen. That always helps for sure.
Yep. Okay. Yes. Chapter 10. Here we go. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
In the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a revelation was given to Daniel, who was called Belteshazzar.
Even though the Babylonians got conquered by the Persians, and so he's still this Babylonian name, even though.
Well, by that point, he's known by both names, depending on who's referring to him. Okay. So it makes sense that it would be recorded. Don't forget, whoever's reading this, don't forget that he also went by this other name.
All right.
And it makes sense.
I suppose. I'll allow for it.
I mean, kids call me mom. You call me wife. Other people call me by my first name.
Sure.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Some call me Ishmael. So.
Nobody calls me that. But it would be funny if they did, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Its message, revelation, given to Daniel.
Yeah.
Its message was true, and it concerned a great war. Okay?
It was true.
It was true, because I said so.
Because it says so right there in the Bible. That makes it true right there.
And how do you know it's true?
Because because it's the word of God. I mean, come on.
Because
God.
Right.
Give me a fucking break here.
And how do we know the Bible's true?
Because
it's the word of God. And how do we know that the word of God is true?
Because it's in the Bible.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Circular logic.
This is easy shit. Why don't, we should all know this.
The definition of running is to run. The definition of smiling is to smile. Fuck. The understanding of the message came to Daniel in a vision. Okay, so that's the intro, and now I'm switching to first person.
Got it,
okay?
yeah.
At that time, I, Daniel, mourned for 3 weeks. I ate no choice food, no meat or wine touched my lips, and I used no lotions at all until the 3 weeks were over.
It did not put the lotion on its skin.
It did not put the lotion on its skin. I don't know if you recall the end of the last chapter when he was given a vision about all them horns or whatever.
Yeah.
The goats
sure,
and the ram.
quadrigoat and all that.
At the very end of that chapter, it was like, and he was really fucking disturbed and sad. The end.
Okay.
So this is opening saying, remember just then I was like disturbed and sad?
Yeah, sure.
So I'm reminding you.
I suppose if I was seeing shit like this all the time, I might be disturbed and sad too.
Mm-hmm.
Probably... if this was modern times, you'd be seeking psychiatric help.
Yeah,
but,
less so because of the fact that you're having a vision and more the contents therein.
Right, yeah.
On the 24th day of the first month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river, the Tigris.
Oh, okay.
Not the Euphrates.
No, yeah.
I looked up, and there before me was a man dressed in linen with a belt of fine gold from Uphaz around his waist.
Okay.
His body was like topaz. Wait, that's
interesting.
What's topaz?
Isn't that like
orangey.
a blue?
Oh, blue.
Oh, is it?
Blue?
I don't know.
Topaz. What are you?
Right. Yeah. I'll look. You go. I'll look it up. I can't because I can't remember honestly.
I want to say it's orangey, but maybe it's blue because that was my first thought. And then I was like,
I don't know. No, it's blue. See,
it is blue. Okay. Yeah. All right. Topaz is blue.
Yeah, it's blue.
Okay. That makes sense.
That's what I had imagined, but I wasn't sure.
Well, the thing is I know that there's a blue topaz, so I think topaz can be more than one color.
Also,
see, you're scrolling down and I see some orange.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Okay. So he was either blue or orangey brown.
Right, maybe a mixture of both. Maybe he had like mixture of different types of topazes.
His head was blue and his arms were one each.
But based on these prices, I am not buying you any topaz anytime soon.
I don't want it. I don't really wear jewelry except for my wedding band. I feel like I have personal hangups with jewelry. It makes me feel like a cave person dressing up in rocks to look shiny for the other people.
That's a good point. Yeah, I never really thought of it that way, but that's a good point. Yeah.
That is my logical reason for it. But the truth is, I also have very autistic reasons for it in that it feels uncomfortable. It rubs my neck the wrong way. If I wear a necklace, earrings, I fidget with them too often and they get irritated.
Sure.
And rings and bracelets, just I can't.
Right.
Like, no.
Yeah.
So I have a personal reason as well as a logical reason.
Sure.
All right. So topaz, he's either orangey brown or he's bluish turquoise.
Right.
Shiny.
Yeah.
He's sparkly though.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. His face like lightning. What?
Jesus. Dude's weird.
He's weird.
This is crazy.
Yeah. He's weirder than Republicans. His eyes like flaming torches. Like, okay,
Man.
But is this American torches like a wood on fire or like a British torch, which is a flashlight?
Trying to imagine, I don't know, but I'm trying to also imagine what a torch, like torches for eyes look like in a face that is made of lightning.
Right?
That's a weird face, right?
This is a weird description.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you put it into ChatGPT, it could do a much better job.
Probably.
And I'm not a super fan of ChatGPT.
Right,
you know?
Right, yeah.
Okay. Anyway, his arms and legs like the gleam of burnished bronze. See, I told you his arms were orange.
Right. Yeah.
And his voice like the sound of a multitude. That was me speaking in multiple voices at once.
Yeah.
Did you like that?
That was great. Yeah.
I, Daniel, was the only one who saw the vision. And that right there should tell you something,
right?
sir.
Yeah.
Those who were with me did not see it, but such terror overwhelmed them that they fled and hid themselves.
What?
Okay, so there were other people with me and they didn't see what I saw, but they were scared nonetheless.
Why?
Because they were. Because Daniel said so.
I think they might have been scared of Daniel, honestly.
I believe you.
Right? Like I think Daniel was acting off.
I think he stood up and was like, there's a shiny man with torches in his eyes and lightning. And they were like, oh, here he goes again. Run!
This guy's fucking lost it.
Yeah. So I, Daniel, was left alone, gazing at this great vision. I had no strength left. My face turned deathly pale and I was helpless.
Huh.
why are you so scared, bro? You've had visions already.
No, I don't know.
It's God or one of his, like, surrogates.
Right.
Yeah. Then I heard him speaking. And as I listened to him, I fell into a deep sleep. Honk, chew, my face to the ground.
Okay, yeah.
A hand touched me and set me trembling on my hands and knees.
Okay.
He said, Daniel, you are who? Highly esteemed. Consider carefully the words I am about to speak to you.
Yeah.
And stand up, for I have now been sent to you.
Okay.
I was trying to be a multitude.
No, I know, but no.
It was only good the first time.
You can that we'll lose like 15 people today.
All right.
For subscribing.
Let me try again. All right. Daniel, you who are highly esteemed, consider carefully the words I am about to speak to you, and stand the fuck up, for I have now been sent to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
I had to add an F-bomb since I couldn't do the voices.
Sure. Yeah.
That's fair.
I've stopped correcting you on adding, your cuss words into the Bible because it does me no good.
I'm just trying to avoid copyright issues.
Yeah, there you go.
See?
There you go. Yeah.
It's my personal artistic license.
I feel like we add enough value to what we're doing and context that they couldn't really call us out on it because come on. We're discussing the whole thing the whole way through, and we don't ever read more than like a couple sentences before we break in with our own shit.
It's true. Because we are some opinionated bastards.
We are.
Yeah. And when dude said this to me, I stood up trembling.
Okay.
I was a trembling.
Yeah.
Then he continued, do not be afraid, Daniel, since the first day that you set your mind to gain understanding and to humble yourself before your God, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. I heard you praying, yo.
Okay.
And here I come.
Yeah.
Walking down the street.
Yeah.
But the prince of the Persian kingdom resisted me 21 days.
Wow. This is like a godly, angel-y type thing?
Yeah,
what is this? And this prince of the king of Persia or whatever?
Yeah.
Well, wait. Persia was Darius, right?
Yeah. Darius the Mede.
Who liked Daniel. Why would he be resisting? Like, I don't understand.
I don't know. He resisted the angel-y dude for 21 days, though. Then Michael, one of the chief princes, came to help me because I was detained there with the king of Persia. I'm an angel, but I was detained.
By a human.
That's what it says, but I don't feel like that can possibly be right.
Right? Yeah.
Unless you're shiny for nothing. Like, your whole power is that you are magical shine. Like, dude.
I mean, you have lightning face. Like,
right?
How the fuck do you detain lightning face?
I don't.
Right?
I'm one of them people that ran away.
Don't kill me, man. Just keep moving. Go.
Yeah, get your torches out of here. Now I have come to explain to you what will happen to your people in the future. For the vision concerns a time yet to come.
Okay. All right.
While he was saying this to me, Daniel,
I
bowed with my face toward the ground and was speechless.
Wait, no, Daniel wasn't saying it to him. The angel was saying it to Daniel.
While he was saying this to me, I Daniel, bowed with my face toward the ground and was speechless.
Got it. Sorry,
you were not listening.
Yeah, I was listening, just not well.
Okay, I'll accept that. Then one who looked like a man touched my lips. Do not touch my fucking face.
Is this the same topaz looking motherfucker?
And I opened my mouth and began to speak. I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe.
But why would you say, like, why wouldn't you just say, hey, the dude I'm having the vision of? Yeah, that same person.
One who looked like a man touched my lips. That bothers me. Like, please don't touch me. I do not consent.
Right.
Just don't.
Yeah.
I opened my mouth and began to speak. I said to the one standing before me, which I think is Shiny Man.
Okay. Yeah.
I am overcome with anguish because of the vision, my lord, and I feel very weak. How can I, your servant, talk with you, my lord? My strength is gone and I can hardly breathe. Again, the one who looked like a man touched me and gave me strength. Do not be afraid, you who are highly esteemed, he said. Peace. Be strong now, be strong.
Okay.
When he spoke to me, I was strengthened and said, speak, my lord. Since you've given me strength and all, go ahead. So he said, Do you know why I have come to you?
I know.
Is it to find the Muffin Man?
Right? Yeah, I don't know what's up.
Soon, dude continued.
Yeah.
I will return to fight against the Prince of Persia. And when I go, the Prince of Greece will come. But first, I will tell you what is written in the Book of Truth.
There's a Book of Truth?
Sure as fuck is.
Oh, okay. All right.
And now we end on parentheses voice.
Yeah.
No one supports me against them except Michael, your prince. The end.
No one supports me against him except Michael, your prince?
No one supports me against them.
Yeah.
The prince of Persia and the prince of Greece.
Yeah.
No one supports me against them except Michael, your prince.
So okay, this is weird.
Yeah.
So we've like whittled down religion now to apparently God and his angel Michael, and God is a detainable entity by Persian humans.
Not God. Whoever this dude,
whatever this is,
this dude is not God.
Okay.
He's an angel of the Lord or something.
Okay, so but there's a whole hevenly host. I think even according to the book of Daniel.
Yeah.
So why are there only two on his side that are going to help him fight Persia?
I don't understand it.
But even at that, like the Persians got beaten like one night because they were stupid, and it was pretty much a bloodless, coup or something, wasn't it? Like, remember how they had the writing on the wall, and then like the next night he's just done.
Yeah,
they're done.
He was done.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
So here is what I have in the notes. It doesn't really clarify.
Of course it doesn't.
But let me just read it.
Right.
Okay. So first of all, a superhuman messenger comes down and gives Daniel fresh strength. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
He then tells Daniel that God was pleased with his humble attitude and sincere desire to know more of God and his ways. Mm-hmm. He's like so thrilled. God really likes you, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, there's a prince in
I'm not there yet.
Nigeria that needs $1 million by tomorrow.
Exactly.
So,
yeah. God had heard Daniel's prayer when he started praying 3 weeks previously. So that was in, previous chapters.
Okay, yeah.
And had sent this messenger shiny guy to him. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. The messenger had been delayed by forces opposed to God.
Okay.
One reason for the Jews' present trouble was that an evil spiritual power was behind the rulers of Persia.
This doesn't give me a lot of confidence in the power of God.
Yeah.
Like if your messengers, your angels, your whatever the fuck they are, if they can be detained by either humans or even if we're admitting another God here,
right? Which
would be kind of like we've said that there are other gods, but it's kind of been with the understanding that they were just idols, right? They kind of hint at that throughout much of the Bible. Now, early on, like Genesis type time frame, we could have interpreted some of those things to mean multiple gods.
Multiple gods, yeah.
So there was some times where we were talking about probable multiple gods. Mm-hmm. But generally, through most of the books, it's been, the idea that these other gods are not real, they're idols and what have you. But here, these Persians apparently have the capability to detain heavenly hosts.
Those evil spirits.
And the evil spirits are helping them. So that's kind of interesting.
Weird.
It's weird, but it's also...
It's interesting, weird, because, this is new. We haven't done this before, and now all of a sudden I feel like we're in the New Testament or something.
Right.
Because that is where you get all that heaven and hell, evil spirits, Satan gonna get you, Satan made you do it.
Sure.
What? We haven't done this before.
But if we're talking about these other cultures, they're kind of referencing other gods, though, right? Yeah. I mean, these they really are, because... the only spiritual creatures that would have been helping these people, if we're to take this in canon and
the way they believed or whatever,
then they would have been gods of the Persians.
Right.
It wouldn't have been Satan or whatever.
Right.
It would have been their gods.
Right.
And that's just an interesting admission by this book that they were strong enough to detain them for at least 3 weeks, which I don't care what you say, whether you believe in God or not, if we're to talk to someone who believes in God, your God was not strong enough to beat these Persians' gods for 3 weeks.
Or at least your people weren't, and you let your angels,
right,
your angelic superhuman messenger people, be detained by evil spirits from another culture.
Yeah.
That's weird, dude.
It's interesting to me.
Yeah.
That's all. As far as the story goes.
So an evil spiritual power was behind the rulers of Persia. This evil spirit tried to prevent the messenger from reaching Daniel. But Michael, a good spirit who worked on behalf of God's people, came and won control over the evil spirit, thereby releasing the messenger to come to Daniel.
Okay.
On hearing about the spiritual conflicts going on in this unseen world, Daniel was again overcome with weakness and needed to be strengthened by God's heavenly messenger.
Right.
Just as 2 years earlier, this messenger had helped Michael, probably in securing the Jews' release from Persia, so now Michael would help the messenger. The two would fight on behalf of the Jews against the evil power behind Persia. Then later, when Greece overthrew Persia, they would fight against other evil powers behind Greece.
It's really funny because this is being written, the way it's written there, it's written as a history.
Yeah.
Right? Like they're literally referencing things that they know have happened or are going to happen because they're writing it after they've happened. And they don't hide it very well there.
Right.
Like the way that's phrased.
Oh, what I was just reading was
that was notes.
Yeah, that was notes.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, well, that makes a lot more sense then.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we already finished the chapter.
I apologize.
That's okay.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's,
It's still weird.
It is still weird.
It's weirder than Republicans even, and Republicans are really fucking weird.
Apparently, that's the whole thing right now, right?
Look, I'm sorry, but I'm fucking loving it.
Yeah.
Because it's not a cuss word, and it's so goddamn true.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
The things that they are so worried about.
You just told me tonight that apparently J.D. Vance is following Kamala Harris around and saying some really weird shit about, like, some racist tropes about her and stuff like that. He tried at least once, if not twice, to get on board her plane, Air Force 2, that she's flying around in. Yeah.
Because he wanted to get a sniff because he said he bet it stinks.
Oh, my God.
And I'm like, fuck you, guy. Yeah. Fuck you hard, you know?
Yeah.
All the way to Mars and back. Fuck you.
Like, what are we doing as a country?
What is this, right? What century is this even?
And sadly, this guy grew up about 5 miles from where I grew up.
And they keep calling it Appalachia or Appalachia on, like, every news source.
And it's not.
You guys, he grew up, like, 15 minutes south of Dayton. Now, Dayton, Ohio is not Appalachia. Think Columbus.
No, it was
Columbus, Ohio is not Appalachia.
To be fair, it was Middletown, Ohio. And Middletown, Ohio is definitely more working class.
It's a little bit more maybe hillbilly and maybe a little bit more, like you said, working class, working poor.
Right. Well, there was a big steel mill company or a town, and that kind of went downhill. But it's not Appalachia.
No,
it's not Appalachia.
It's very far removed from Appalachia.
Right. But it is, and this is not appropriate to say exactly, but it is, when I was growing up, it was affectionately known as Middle Tucky.
Right.
Like, kind of people referred to it as, like, you know, that it does have some Appalachian roots because there's a lot of people that are coming from the poorer sections near us to get jobs there when the steel mill was a big entity.
Right.
So there are a lot of people that came there from Appalachia.
His family has Appalachian roots.
Right.
His grandparents were Appalachian.
I have Appalachian roots.
Okay, but to say that he is from Appalachia and that this book that he wrote takes place in Appalachia, it doesn't, and it's not.
Correct.
He's basically calling Dayton, Ohio, Appalachia. Look on a fucking map, y'all.
Yeah.
It's not Appalachia. And it doesn't piss me off that he does it so much because that's what the right does. They just muddy the waters. It pisses me off that news sources reporting on this shit that know geography stop calling Dayton, Ohio, which Middletown almost is.
Well, it's also almost Cincinnati. You can go either way with it.
Right. It's right in the middle of Dayton and Cincinnati.
Hence Middletown.
Right. Yeah. It's just, would you call Cincinnati, Ohio, Appalachia?
Right. No.
And to get to Dayton, you'd have to go through Columbus first. Would you call Columbus Would you call Columbus Appalachia?
No. But what do you mean you have to go through?
If you're going through, if you're coming from Appalachia area.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you're headed to Dayton. You're headed west on 70. Right. I-70.
Or 35, right?
Whatever. You're going to go through fucking Columbus before you hit Dayton.
Right.
So if you are calling Dayton, Middletown, Cincinnati, Appalachia, you're actually saying that Columbus, Ohio is fucking Appalachia. And it's really fucking not.
Right.
So everybody get your maps out, study it out, learn your geography, and know that they're stupid.
Just for the record, wife is not chastising you. Wife is just mad at the whole J.D. Vance thing, and it hits home really hard with us here because he's from here.
Yeah.
Essentially. So.
I mean, okay, Middletown is close enough to Dayton that we probably passed in some cafes. You know what I mean? Like,
could have been, yeah.
Like, we probably hit the same malls. We probably ate at some of the same McDonald's.
Yeah, I was probably at a sporting event with the dude at some point.
Right?
You know, like,
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just the next neighborhood over.
Right.
It's not far. I have a friend who lives just south of Middletown, and we meet around Middletown for coffee. Like, it's just right there.
Yeah.
So, just the whole thing is dumb. It's dumb and I hate it.
I agree.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yes, you're very angry about this.
Well, you were angry about 7 and 7, and I'm angry about Middle Appalachia.
Right. And I don't know how we got here from Bible, but...
Because Republicans are weird.
Yeah. No, I got it.
That is it.
And I did bring him up, so I apologize to everybody.
Shouldn't.
So
you shouldn't.
There's some J.D. Vance talk for you.
Hey, but Kamala and Walz. Let's go, Tim and Kamala.
Right. Yeah.
Go team.
Yeah, okay. Definitely. All right. I think we're gonna get on out of here. We don't have any more to cover.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
All right. So that was Daniel chapter 10.
Sure as fuck was.
And then maybe later today, possibly tomorrow, we'll be back with
Q&A. Maybe Saturday.
And then
for sure we're getting part 2 of Patreon out.
Right.
And that will be the actual project 2025.
Yes.
And
then I'll get the weekly wrap up out, and then we'll be back on Monday with
Daniel chapter 11.
All right, we'll see you then.
Bye.